Hello, you're watching CNBC's Worldwide Exchange. I am here in Rio de Janeiro as the Earth Summit, the Rio 20, of course, is underway. It's given us a chance to come to this country and talk to the various parties. We know we had very weak growth in the first quarter for Brazil, down to just 0.2%, with interest rates at a record low. Carolina Chimenti took the opportunity to catch up with the president of the Brazilian Central Bank, Alexandre Tombini, and asked him what he thought his growth rates were going to be for the year.
According to market projections, economic growth in Brazil should pick up the second half, and we should have growth around 4.1% year-end by the end of the year, in the fourth quarter. And this projection into 2013 is that growth on a year-on-year basis should be running at a 4.6% rate, according to a market consensus that we collect here with market participants.
Do you mean this year?
This year, by the end of the year, year-on-year, fourth quarter against fourth quarter, is going to be running around over 4%, 4.1% GDP growth year-on-year in the fourth quarter 2012.
Now, having this scenario in mind, with growth coming back only at the end of the year, can we expect another half percentage point cut in interest rates in July?
We have a number of other issues that support our view that growth is going to be sustained and pick up throughout the year. First, the policy stimulus, as we mentioned, and second, we have had continued growth in labor markets. Job creation has been great in Brazil. 1.4 million jobs have been created in the last 12 months in April. We have had real wages growing at a rate of around 3%. So this makes the real wage bill to growth at a 5% in 12 months, 5% rate in 12 months, which is an important rate. It's been higher than that in early 2011, but it is still growing at 5%, the real wage bill, which is a very important support for expansion in domestic demand, which is growing, if you think about retail sales, to the order of 7%, 6.7% in 12 months. So we have reasons to believe that growth not only will sustain, but will pick up throughout 2012.
So you think the central bank job is done here?
Well, I'm not going to anticipate future policy moves, but what I've said, and the central bank has said, is that everything we have done so far, it's in response to an economy which is weaker than what potential output growth could be for Brazil. And this bodes well for our strategy of bringing inflation to converge to the inflation target for Brazil. I think we've been very successful in doing that.
And as credit expands, so does debt and defaults in this country. Does that worry you?
Delinquency rates have picked up in Brazil, but they are a result of what has been done in late 2010 and early 2011 in terms of credit extension. When you look at the new vintages of credit since the second half of 2011, you see a much lower delinquency rates than the previous vintages. So our expectation is that with the pickup in the economy throughout the second half of the year, with labor markets still working strongly, generating 1.4 million jobs in 12 months, with real incomes showing expansion also, with the control of inflation, with lower rates, I'm talking about lending rates and bank spreads. So we have all the conditions set for the delinquency rates to be reduced, and that's our expectation, some stabilization throughout the middle of the year, and then a retreat in delinquency rates as you move towards the end of 2012.
Alexandre Tombini talking to Carolina Chimenti. We'll hear more from his views on the real a little bit later.